and I'm messing with stuff. Uh, Trying to get my phone to charge. There it goes. All right. Now get my tripod adjusted so it doesn't fall over. Okie dokie. Uh, I'm live and I'm alive. Woo. It is toasty out there today. Uh, okay. Yeah, here we go. Come on. Okay, I'm gonna warn you right now. My hands are shaky. It's what I do. Okay, so I'm getting ready to load up my what's becoming my favorite pipe. I really like this thing. I'm still figuring out how to smoke it and all, but you know, like I said, it's hot out there today, folks. Uh, yeah, it's hot. I think when I checked my phone before I came, I can't see my thermometer. I've got a thermometer on the other side of the shop here. But, so, I know I need to start advertising when I'm going live and promoting it more. I don't know. I should have said something last night when I was watching Simply Jan's live, which that's usually an interesting live to partake in because I found my thermometer. Hot dang, what you say? Yeah, I don't know if you can read it, but it says it's about 92 degrees in this shop. I've had the air conditioner on for about 30 minutes. I got a fan blowing on me, so it's bearable for me. So, yeah, that's what I'm doing today. Well, we processed some chickens this morning. As most things I do, I wasn't very well organized. Yeah, my hands are shaky. There we go. I think I got it going now. Like I said, this is becoming a favorite pipe of mine. I bought it just because I think it's kind of goofy looking. If you look here, it's got that slanted cut. It looks kind of hillbilly-ish, but this is what's cool about it. Let me see if I can do this. Got up there. Can you see that? It sits like that. You can set it down on the desk or the tabletop, and your bit doesn't touch the whatever you're setting it on. I kind of like that. I'm not a real experienced pipe smoker, but I am enjoying it, and I do enjoy it the more I do it. So, and I know that nicotine is highly addictive. That's all right. Actually, I don't know. I'm sure it takes a while for any addiction to really kick in. But I don't crave the smoke. and it kind of curbs my appetite. And I'm sure if you've been with me, you can tell I need my appetite curbed a little bit. So hopefully there's folks out there scrolling around that will join in here in a little bit. Well, somebody did. Oh, it's Jan. Hey, Jan, how's it going? Y'all staying cool over there? I'm not done such a good job staying cool here this afternoon, but anyway, oh yeah, we were outside processing a few chickens this morning, and it was nice out, but we called it quits about 10 because it was getting hot. But this afternoon, the humidity has come up. We knocked off about 10 and cleaned up, and by then it's almost noon, and then run my mom back down to Carl Junction, and we had lunch with her, and I went in the house, took a nap that I didn't plan on, but yeah. So I just got done doing chores, and humidity is crazy. It doesn't feel as hot as it did about 2:30, but the humidity is something else. It makes me sweat. Okay, well, I hope he finds it, because I could sure use some watch hours. But so last night on your live, Jan, something was said about YouTube's not going to pay for shorts anymore. I was going to go look it up. I for sure need a shower. So what's the deal with that? I haven't heard. I don't read hardly any of the messages that they send me, so but I know I get more views, more watch hours from that. Well, you got that right. I was getting more views from shorts than anything else. What's up, Kevin? I'm trying to cool down. I don't think I picked the right spot in this shop. What does that mean, Jan? I'm not very savvy on this YouTube stuff. Unlisted. Yes, it is hot. Like I was saying, I just stepped in here from doing chores, and whew. 10,000 overall views or per short? Oh, yeah, I have never gotten anywhere near that. Probably never will. Good thing I like making the videos, because I'm probably never getting monetized anyway. But that's crazy. I noticed they had put ads in your live last night. Oh, okay. Well, I think it's crazy. I mean, I know that YouTube doesn't pay real well, I guess. I don't know. Until you get to a certain level, but dang. I mean, people watch shorts, you know. So that's crazy, just crazy. Um, whew. So anyway, anything else going on over your way? Yeah, 2,000 views. There's no way I get 10,000 views on a short. I think I got 5,000 on one, maybe. I have to go look, but and I know, part of my problem is I'm not very regular, but uh, school's about to start back up, and I'm not going to have much time to do much YouTube stuff. So, uh, so uh, well, I don't blame you. Like I said, the only work I got done outside of my regular chores is uh, we processed 5 chickens this morning, and Rhonda decided it was too hot, so we postponed it for a while, and we're going to get some more equipment and go again next weekend. But yeah, uh, Ethan was wanting to go fishing today, but I figured it'd be a waste of time. I'm pretty sure them fish are not biting, and they're really deep right now. Staying down there was really cool. Yes, I have a brand new plucker, and I'm loving it. Uh, it's a yard bird. I don't know, but yeah, it works great. Maybe it's the one that's got the on-off switch up on the handle. Like I said, we love it. We got our... I bet the fishing does suck. We got our scalding water a little too hot, and we kind of mangled a couple of birds this morning. But other than that, it's the first time I've used the plucker, and I won't do it again without them. Of course, I tried one other time to process chickens without one, and I said, nope, I'm buying a plucker before I do this again. Oh yeah, well, that shouldn't be too bad. I tried to get my brother and sister-in-law to come and help us, and they're too busy. He does a lot of craft shows this time of year, so they were busy. So until September. I think we have 30 more to process. I bought 50, and we lost, I think, like 5 when they were real little. And this heat has really hit us hard. We lost 10 in the heat. That's why I wanted to get them done. I think next year we're going to wait so that we're processing like in October instead of August. Uh, I wanted to get them earlier this year, but I was going to go in with some people. They told me that they wanted to go in with me. We'd buy 100 birds so we get a price break, and then they backed out and decided they wasn't going to get theirs till later this year. And now they've went and bought some white rocks and white rock hens and I'm drawing a blank on the other bird that goes into that. I don't know if I want to wait and be processing chickens New Year's Day. Might be a little cool. Wouldn't have to worry about it going spoiling on you though. Yeah, see, that's me. I've lost I think 10 birds this week because of the heat. It's crazy. Of course, like most people, I got accustomed to these mild summers we've been having where we don't have this 100-degree heat, and then here it is. Lessons learned. Yeah, yeah, they're not very hardy at all. And I may look into Freedom Rangers or something like that next time, just so that you get a better bird. They are. They're, yeah. And they take a little longer to get to processing size. I've done some investigating on them. I actually thought about them this year, but, and that's another one of them deals. I was going to go in with somebody, and by the time I got to talking to him about it, he was in the middle of a divorce and wasn't doing chickens anymore. So I've heard about the Bressies. I haven't priced them yet though, so I don't know on that. I'll be able to take your word on that. But yeah. Have you seen them 3-foot tall chickens? Something gigantic or something gigantic? I don't know what they are. Yeah, I hear you. And you know, maybe that's something I need to look into instead of just going with a straight meat bird. Get something like a Brahma or something. I mean, they're hardier, but those giant chickens are pretty cool. But I haven't been able to find any for sale, and they're probably expensive. So had something I was going to say and forgot. My old timers is kicking in. I like the Jersey Giants. The Jersey Giant, we had a Jersey Giant rooster, and Fox got him because he was protective of his hens. Extremely protective of his hens. So the fox killed him. And I couldn't hit him with my 45 or I'd have killed the fox. But anyway, I come out to go to work one morning. It was like 5 o'clock in the morning, and I hear a commotion out at the chicken pen. And at the time, we didn't have the Premier One fence, and we had left the gate open, so come around the corner, see what the commotion was. Like I said, I was headed to work, and I used to drive to Joplin every day, so I carried and so I pulled it out and was shooting at that fox with a 45, and never even woke anybody else up in the house. I ripped off like 4 or 5 rounds. All right, Jan. But I really like the Jersey Giant. Ours was a black one. He was big too. You know. Like I was saying, I don't know that I want to do the Cornish rocks again. I mean, they grow fast. Man, these chickens, they were processing out about 5 pounds a piece. And probably a little more than that for the big roosters. I mean, they're huge. We've got some Rhode Island Reds and something Gems, and they were all within a week of each other. And these Cornish are 3 times the size of those regular breeds. But I can believe it. They get big. But I don't know. We didn't weigh any. We were just estimating. But they definitely get heavy. But like I said, I don't know if I want to do them again. I mean, they got a lot of meat on them. I do like that. But of course, my work schedule is going to change next year, I believe. I don't know. I don't want to talk too much about it. Might jinx myself. But so next year I may have enough time to do more. I don't know. Do things different with them. But I didn't go into this blind. I knew that the Jumbo Cornish cross weren't really healthy birds, and that's why you got to process them so young, you know. But and I didn't factor in this heat, so like I said, next year if somebody contacts me wanting to go in with me so we can get a deal on them, I might do it, but I'm not going to wait on other people. You're probably right. They probably are bigger than 5 pounds. That was just an estimate, you know, just kind of, yeah, okay. And they were more like, let me see, I looked that up earlier, but I think they were like, they were close to 12 weeks old. We got them the first part of May, and here it is, the end of August, so middle of August. Guess it depends on how you look at it, but so yeah, we may have got more than a 5 pound average. The roosters are especially big. They looked good. Well, welcome back, Jan. I really appreciate y'all being here tonight. I've been doing these by myself, nobody to talk to, so I've just been sitting here talking to myself last few, just because, you know, the way I do things, I never know when I'm going to have time to do them, so I need to work on that. But figured I would jump on here for an hour and see what happens. I know that these lives, and they're fun. I enjoy the lives. They're the fastest way to get your hours. So, been worrying about my pigs in this heat. I got the #1 farmhand going out twice a day watering. He goes out in the morning and in the evening. And this morning he got up and watered and fed in the morning. Been trying to get him to do that for years, but he's autistic, but he's not. He's high functioning. It's what they used to call Asperger's. So when he gets his schedule, he's got to stick to that schedule. But this morning he went and, fed and watered early. I think it's because he knew he was going to be processing chickens today. I'm kind of anxious to see how they taste. I know that I've been real happy with how my pork tastes that I've grown, how my beef tastes that I've grown, and now we'll see chickens. We get these chickens processed. We shouldn't have to buy any meat for this from the store for almost a year. And that's what I'm looking for. And I'm glad we've got that cow out there, because I'd hate to have to buy a bottle calf right now. Man, even local, even down at Lockwood, they're going $700 to $1,000 and more, and not for anything special. That's just a dairy calf. No, I don't process my own, and I'm not sure I want to. But I've not made my own bacon, but I'm sure I can figure out how that works. I've watched a few videos on it. Yeah, it's a lot of work, I'm sure. We processed a cow one time when I was a teenager, and it was a lot of work. It was like a 2-day job. Jan, let's talk about that cow. It is a cow, as in female? And is it bred for milk, or is it bred for beef? Because I may be interested. Okay. I can understand that, Jan, about the pigs. They can be a nuisance. They are a nuisance. No, there's no can be. They are. You have to build strong pens, and yeah. And I'm thinking about getting out of it just because, or not completely out of pigs, but just cut back and just grow enough for us. I've got a friend down by Carl Junction that is having better luck selling pigs than I am, and I'm just tired of it. They want them for nothing. The A2 test is pretty reasonable. She will give milk. We had, my mom and dad had a Holstein Angus cross that they milked. But they all have milk. We may have to get together about this cow. With the Dexter breed, there's a good chance she is A2. how does she deal with people? Excellent mamas is always good. Uh, yeah, let me know. Uh, that's interesting that most people love those Dexters. Of course, uh, Rhonda has a cousin that breeds Dexters, and they just love them. And I've watched several videos on them, and they love them. Ideally, I would want a Jersey or a Guernsey for milk, just because I want the extra butter fat from a Jersey. But they all make cream, some more than others. You might I can understand that. Our bull, I was amazed. I didn't think he was that big. I don't know for sure, but one of the local farmers up here told me they thought he was probably a dairy cross. And I forget what our total weight was. I think it was 500 pounds plus, 575 maybe. And I was pretty surprised at that. We got 200 pounds of hamburger, which I like hamburgers, so. I'm not a big steak guy. I prefer a pork chop to a steak, but, you know, I don't mind steak. But anyway, on your cow, just send me a message with what you might want for it. Because, like I said, Dexters have been in my would have list for a while. You know, and I might find somebody that AIs around here, have her AI to a mini Jersey bull or something for milk. All right, all right, Jan. Thanks for you stopping by. I appreciate it. And yeah, let me know on that cow. And I don't have a problem talking to Kevin. What's the other channel? I might stop by there when I get done here. Better slow down on that thing. Well, what else is going on? Kevin and Jan both have bailed on me, and that's okay. So, had some people pop in and pop out. Earlier today I had something on my mind I wanted to bring up here, and I forgot what it was. So, any pipe smokers out there? Cigar smokers? This is my newest hobby. Actually, it's a hobby I picked back up. You know, if you haven't caught my other uh, lives. So, dead quiet. That's always good. You better slow down. It's getting hot. Uh, okay. Well, we've been processing chickens today. I've mentioned that. Had a good visit with my mom over lunch. Uh, even though when it comes time to eat, I'm not much of a talker while I eat. But she come up, helped us. Let me see. Let me do some math here real quick. I think, let's see. Yep, she turned 80 a week ago yesterday. She's a little slower than she used to be, but like I said, she got excited about coming up here and helping us. Process chickens. I think she forgot some about doing it, but that's okay. She come up, spent time with us. I think her and Rhonda had a nice visit, and she got to feel needed and useful, and that's always good for older people. I mean, even I'm an older people now too, I guess. I'm 61, but need to feel needed, need to feel useful. So anyway, that's what's been going on around here. I got to learn a new bus route this year. Am not looking forward to that. Just because I hate starting new routines. I mentioned earlier in this live that my son is what they used to call, he has what they used to call Asperger's, high functioning autism, extremely high functioning. And my stepson does too, my oldest stepson, he does too. And I'm pretty sure I do too. I think what I have is what they call odd HD. Yeah, it's autism and ADHD. And that's crazy. But it explains a lot of my life, the way I've acted, the way I've done things. So if you got any interest in talking about autism, I'm happy. I will answer any questions I can about it, or, you know, just discuss the struggles of having to live with it. So, I see somebody else has popped in. Say hi. You know who you are. And I need to kill about another 20 minutes here. I guess I don't have to. I guess if I run out of things to ramble about, I can stop. Here's a question. I got a question for whoever's listening. These celebrities, you see them all the time. If Trump don't do this, or Trump does do this, or this don't change, or that don't change, or, you know, I saw one, who was it? I believe it was Billie Eilish, which I couldn't tell you any song she sang to save my life. But She said she's not going to make any more music while Trump's president. So, how do these people think they're so important that by them not making music or telling people, well, if you're MAGA or you voted for the president, then don't come to my shows? What? What's it like, do you suppose, to have that kind of an ego that you think just because you can sing songs and entertain people that you can influence them like that? I don't know. I guess, because I've never had that kind of power, I don't understand it, but I don't want it either. I mean, I like to have a discussion on politics, or what I really like is conspiracy theory. All kinds of them. They're crazy. I just lost my 2 viewers. So, yeah. I don't know if you've looked at my photo on my YouTube channel, and you're expecting me to just be one thing. That's not me. I've got lots of interest, and I'm on these lives. I'm able to go anywhere, from gardening, raising livestock, politics. I'm steering away from the politics a little more because I'm just sick of arguing with people. It accomplishes nothing. Just because people, they've already made up their minds. Anything I say is not going to change their mind. So, but I like Harley Davidson motorcycles, older ones, Evo on back. I don't know much about anything newer than Evo. I don't know much about, let me be honest here. I don't know much about anything. My last political argument. I think the last one that I had a day-long argument with a person over white privilege, and me having white privilege, and just after that I just quit, and that's been a while ago. What's up?
You didn't have to throw any of the feathers to the pig, right?
I did.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Number one farmhand checking in.
Now explain why there's a bunch of feathers in there.
Yeah. I'll tell you more later.
What?
I'll tell you more later. I'm on live. I don't know anything about the One Piece. I mean, maybe that's a conspiracy theory that I haven't heard about. Enlighten me. Well, they said I had white privilege, first of all, because I grew up with both of my parents. That was the start of their argument. And because I had a job and kept a job, that was white privilege. And I say that the reason I had a job and kept a job is because I got up and I went to work and I did my job. But, that was the base of their argument, and they just kept repeating themselves over and over again. A guy against the world government. Well, I might be on his side already. Because I absolutely do not like the idea of a one world government. That's just crazy. There's too many different kinds of people for there to be a one world government, you know. Uh, oh man, 2028. I don't really have a pick yet. I really cannot say I'm a fan of anybody right now. Uh, there's something about JD Vance that just doesn't quite feel right with me. I want to like him, but I'm just not sure about him. Uh, Rubio is another one they talk about, and I'm not so sure about him. I think he might be a little bit better choice than Vance, but I'm not sure. Uh, like I said, I've kind of not been paying attention to as much of this. I can't say I don't like him, but there's just something about him that doesn't feel right to me. And I haven't gone into a deep dive on him or anything. It's just my gut reaction. I kind of like DeSantis, but again, I really like what he did in Florida, but I'm just not sure. But they do seem better than Vance. Uh, to me, Vance seems like a yes man for Trump. And while I did vote for Trump twice, the time he lost and this last time he won, I didn't vote for him first time. I voted Libertarian, which, and that Southerners are not a bad thing. I mean, they're both from Florida, right? I'm pretty sure that, which I like a lot of what's going on in Florida with their government. They seem to be getting their poop in a group. But I think my tobacco's all burned out. Anyway, yeah, but still, they're pretty much career politicians at this point, and I'm just kind of tired of that. Of course, I don't know what other choice we've got. The Libertarians really can't put together a platform, and they definitely don't have the money to do anything. So, I don't know. I'm just going to have to wait and see. But I am tired of voting for the lesser of two evils. Now, to me, Trump, when I voted, he was a better choice than what the Democrats had. That was scary. And I think we would have been far worse off now. But, so, that's my thoughts in a nutshell on all of that. You know, I'm in Missouri, and we don't get a lot of say in a lot of the federal elections and stuff, which, I don't know, it is what it is. So, I would like to hear if, I'm not even going to try to pronounce your name, but the person that was talking about the One Piece conspiracy. I'd like to hear more about that. I like all kinds of conspiracy theories, and yep, that's one of those things. He's the one that got the 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 jab pushed through quicker. And I know a lot of people have forgotten that. Uh, and I didn't like it at the time, and I was outspoken among my friends about that. But I didn't like that he pushed it through so fast. I know there's a lot of red tape that probably isn't necessary for that stuff, but they skipped a lot of trials that they probably shouldn't have. And it's come back to bite some people in their hind end. So, but I'm like you, I didn't vote enthusiastically either time. I mean, I didn't vote for it, like I said, the first time at all, just because he's from New York and they have a different way of doing things up there that I'm not exactly a fan of, So, who do you? Well, you said you like Rubio and DeSantis. Uh, maybe. And to be honest, I don't really care whether they're from the South or where, as long as they kind of stick to the founding values. I'm a let live and let live kind of guy, so, but I don't like a lot of the stuff that's been pushed onto us. Saying that we do not need that guy. Oh man, that's one of the scariest guys in politics as far as I'm concerned. And he's doing just what he needs to do to get votes, and that's all he's doing. And I don't like those kind of people to begin with. And plus I think he's got an agenda that he's not open about. And I think a lot of these people who are fans of him right now are about to find out that it's not what they think it is. It's not going to be all sunshine and rainbows, I guess. And some of them are already finding out. I know, like I said, he scares me because he's promising things that, one, he can't deliver, and two, they're not going to end up the way people think they are. Because of people. I mean, it's why communism, socialism always fails, is people. People are greedy. I mean, capitalism puts that greed to work, whereas socialism and communism uses it. Well, thank you very much, Sam. I agree with you 100%. I'm not a church-going man, but I am a Christian. As I say, I'm just not a good one, And I appreciate people giving me blessings like that. As a matter of fact, on most of my regular videos, I usually sign off with, let's look out for each other, let's help each other when we can, and don't forget to pray. Yep, I agree. I'm not exactly considered Southern. I've been told I sound like it. I had an argument in, I can't remember. at a truck stop in Pennsylvania, and the guy swore up and down I was from South Carolina, and I'm from Southwest Missouri, born and raised Southwest Missouri, the Joplin, Missouri area. Uh, so, yep, and I don't want to live anywhere else. As a kid, I lived in Spokane, Washington. I can't remember that little town. It's right by Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. I think it's Wallace, Idaho. Lived in Greeley, Colorado for a while in my early teens. And, my family's always come back to this area. And I like it here. I stayed in bigger cities for a few days, and I just don't like it. I drove truck over the road, and I just don't care for the big cities. If that's somebody's thing, that's fine, but I like it out in the country. Sitting here now, I can hear the cicadas and the crickets. Hear my roosters crowing. I can hear my pigs fighting out back. And if the cows make noise, I can hear them. I can hear our goats trying to convince us that they're starving to death, even though they're not. They got grass, they got hay, they get fed grain once a day. I know that if my dog barks in the night, I probably ought to get up and check on it. I can tell by the way she barks what's going on. Country life's the life for me. My neighbor to the south, I'm probably an eighth of a mile away. Same distance to the neighbor to the north. I can't even see the neighbor to the north's house for the trees. They're good neighbors. They watch out for us. We watch out for them. We mind our own business. As far as neighbors, I couldn't ask for better neighbors. So, yeah. And I wish more people, even if they don't like the lifestyle, would take the time to understand it. And if they would try to understand it, you would probably make their life a little better. And I'm getting up to an age where my peace means more to me than having a lot of friends. And as I said, I think I've got ADHD, autism, ADHD. So I learned years ago I'm not going to have a lot of friends, and I don't need a lot of friends. And I'm happy. I got my wife and my son here. Stepdaughter stops by once in a while and visits. I'll go down and visit with my mom. She'll come up and visit. Got a good friend down in Oklahoma. We keep in contact. But I'm happy with my life. Not so much with my work situation, but that's all right. I'm working on that. Anyway, I've been on here about an hour, and for the past minute or so, I've been rambling to myself. So, for some sense of beauty, if you happen to come back, I will be looking into that conspiracy theory, because I love a good conspiracy theory. Don't necessarily believe them all, but I do like them. So here in about 30 seconds, I'll have been on here for an hour, and it's been a good one for me tonight. Good live. I appreciate everybody that's been here, and it was good. I enjoyed it. Hope y'all make it back next time. I'm probably going to do this. I'm trying to get in the habit of doing it every Saturday night about 6 o'clock. But just keep an eye out if you're still paying attention, and don't forget, let's look out for each other. Let's help each other when we can. And don't forget to pray. And we'll catch you all later. Okay.